We play and call it work.
Hey there guys, Quirk, Josh, and Kris here from MiniWarGaming.com, and welcome to this week's episode of the Reroll. Yay! Yay! So for this one we're going to be talking about a bunch of different things. The main thing I think we want to talk about, at least right off the bat here, is Mk3 for Warmachine. Mk3 for Warmachine. So I got a stack of... well, semi-stack, I guess. I don't know,
it's suitably stacked.
Yeah, it's 36
It's a
pages.
stack.
It's all the Mk3 spoilers as per what's been like coming down the pipeline. Battle College actually collected them all, so there's a lot of neat stuff coming down from Mk3. You guys both read through this, right?
Yep. Yeah, we took this game through. My big thing for Warmachine, or when it comes to any new, either a new game coming out or a revamp of a game I currently play, I don't like to read any of the spoilers or get too heavy into it until it's right before. I have a tough enough time keeping track of the rules for the game that I'm playing, never mind, the updated rules. So this is going to be my first real deep look into it. But yeah, I've been kind of reading a little bit, but not enough to impact the content.
I've been playing. I've been staying pretty on top of it for the most part, just kind of keeping track of all the stuff, waiting for it to be confirmed. One of the big ones that I think everyone's super excited about or super salty about is that pre-measuring is now a thing and is legal under all conditions. So you can measure anything at any time. That's pretty huge for this game.
It is pretty huge, but I mean, it's not that big a deal. Anybody who was really good with their controls was already working out distances, and now, I mean, like, the errors of half an inch is, I mean, it's going to be a thing of the past, but I mean, anybody who was really good with their control distances already could work out, well, am I in the way over here? Am I in range? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, they can work it out from there. It was pretty simple. I mean, like, now it just eliminates that time you spend guessing whether or not that's going to be in range or not.
It'll speed. Well, see, that's the thing is, people are talking about it speeding the game up.
Yeah.
But then we've got the people that will measure every single little thing every step of the way. Where, I wonder, I'm curious to see if it speeds the game up or slows the game down. I, for one, think it's going to slow the game down.
I think it'll speed it up.
I think you're going to get the seasoned players who are like used to all those distances or are really good at like guessing the ranges and the distances there that aren't going to bother measuring because they already know like what an 8-inch charge looks like, and they'll be able to look at a piece of like distance and go, I don't need to pre-measure that. I can already tell that's 7 inches. I got this charge.
Yeah, but that's the thing is when it's 8-inch, when it's an 8-inch charge, and if it's that millimeter or two difference.
Yeah.
So with me, I'm looking at the more competitive. I'm cutting you off already.
I know.
No, but the more competitive Warmachine players now, they're going to have more 100% data to work with.
Yep.
So if you're overly competitive, not even overly, if you're a competitive player, you should be measuring every single little thing every step of the way. With a game like 40K, where measurement's important, but it's a little bit more forgiving of movement mistakes, this, not at all. No. I mean, if I have 100% of the data to work with at all times, that changes the game a lot. Because they'll have to change my play style, because I'm usually waiting for somebody to make a mistake and then capitalize on it.
Yeah.
So I wonder with certain players, I don't even wonder, I'm pretty sure with certain players it's going to slow the game down a ton.
Well, you and I played today, and there was a couple points in time where it was like, I'd really like to be able to pre-measure what I'm about to do. Because, like, for example, you had, I'm not going to say the names because you might want to watch this report, but you'd have, like, something want to shoot at me, and you're range 10, and you moved up and did the distance and everything, and I'm like, I don't know if you're in range. And you measured it, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm not in range. Well, now you're so close that it's a little bit of a threat for you, because now I can get stuff into melee with you, and you probably wouldn't have done that had you had the option to pre-measure your distances and see if you could move up and then make that shot.
Well, it's one of the human elements of the game, where it's a variable that can't be controlled. Now, if you're allowed to pre-measure, that's one less variable that's there. So I might be part of the group that really liked pre-measuring, because I used to play other games, like I used to play 40K and all that back in the days before pre-measuring. And it was a completely different game because it forced you to sometimes make decisions that you didn't have 100% of the data for. So there's still the random dice element of you don't know if you're going to roll well enough, but you have more data to work with.
I like less random elements in a game.
Yep.
like chess. Chess, there's no random elements. 40K, who plays with the random terrain? Who plays with the random whatevers that are in the game? Everybody just plays it pretty straight. Yeah, and so with Warmachine, when you're randomly, trying to determine whether something's in range or you have all these other random elements that, can completely mess up your battle plan, I mean, it takes from the game. And it's a simple, measurement error that, like you lost because you were half an inch away. I mean, like, that's completely dumb. That's
Yeah. So I think that's going to help out a lot. I think just by being able to pre-measure, we're going to see a lot less, if a complete elimination of you're out by half an inch, you're out by like just a hair out of range, stuff like that. It's going to eliminate that because people are going to be able to pre-measure. It's going to voice intent. If someone's just like, okay, well, I'm going to measure this. Okay, I can do it because I've measured everything and I'm allowed to do this. And they go to do it and something happens where for some reason they can't after they've already pre-measured it. Well, your opponent already knows that you pre-measured this. So you're not going to get that whole... Well,
and it eliminates that nitpicky of
exactly.
fighting over that eighth of an inch,
Yeah.
that 1/32 of an inch. I mean, that's where a lot of the time is spent wasted in the game is fighting over. Oh, am I there? No, let me get my reach marker. And it's you're fighting over those little wee spaces, and it's not necessary. And
What if I like arguing with people? I only play these games to fight with people. What are you talking about? Why do you guys play these games?
I think another thing it's going to help out with is that one of the huge stipulations for this game is that you do not touch the models on the board unless you're going to do something with them.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, we were doing Tale of Two Casters, and Steve walked in and went, "Oh wow, you're playing Warmachine." He walks in, picks up my Warcaster, he's like, "Huh, that's a cool looking guy," and puts it back down on the board and went, "Oh,
Yeah, we're playing Warmachine.
oh, I should have done that." So
Well, we're just like,
yeah, we're both like,
what
are you doing?
We can't even vocalize how upset we are at what you're doing. So we're just going to watch you do it.
So I think that's going to help out a lot because when people are like, "Oh, that's a cool model," well, you've been able to pre-measure, so you know how far that model is from this, you know how far this model is from there. So it's going to be a little bit more relaxed for picking up models and moving stuff around and putting down proxies and stuff like that. It's going to be nice. But that's just pre-measuring. We could probably talk about that for a while now.
We could do a whole video.
We could do a whole video.
you could, but I mean, it's a circular argument. I mean, it's preference.
Yeah.
And I mean, until these rules drop, is it still 100%? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because even with this list from Battle College, it's not always right.
Yep.
So.
Yep. The point scale has been completely changed. Like, one of the big things I noticed is that Warcasters, normally when you see how many Warjack points they have to contribute to your list, it's like anywhere from 4 to maybe 8 or 9 points. There's like that huge variant. Seeing one of the spoiler drops for one of those, I saw Denegra has 36 Warjack points. That is huge. And then when you look at like the cost of a Slayer Jack is now only 10 points. So before you couldn't get a Slayer Jack for free with Denegra. You didn't have the right points there.
Right.
Now you can basically get 3 Slayers just by bringing Denegra.
Yeah.
So I think they're going in more of a way of you want to bring Jacks.
We want to encourage you to bring more.
We want you to bring more Jacks, which I think is probably the best way they've gone about changing it from infantry machine to back to war machine and Horde.
That's been my biggest gripe on the game. I like many things about the game, but what originally drew me into it was Warjacks, War Beasts, and then there's a lot of infantry machine being played. So anything to get away from that, anything to get more bigger models on the table, I think is going to help the game a lot and help the feel of the game a lot.
A couple of little things that they changed here. Every Warcaster is going to have his or her own unique and flavorful spell or ability on top of their feat.
Yep.
Which is really cool. Kind of adds a little bit more to the lore there for all the casters. Fear, terror, massive casualties, they're all gone. There's no more concept of fleeing, which you never really saw in the game that much.
I used it a lot, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I use Alexia, and they all cause terror.
Okay, yeah.
And Rupert, the one causes fear.
Okay, yeah.
And you charge up, and you get within, and like I don't know how many times we've played, and just that one time, it broke, and now that unit's broken.
That was a huge thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's a lot of people now that take like abomination lists where everything is an abomination. They try and just scare their opponent, like the minion gator list. All the gators have abominations, so they just scare everybody. And that was a huge trick, was just constantly throwing all these gators at somebody
Just get
And
with the melee and
just
scare the crap out of everybody.
scare one thing, and they've made their point cost basically. But they're getting rid of that completely, so it kind of changes the whole Abomination Fear thing. It's like, is that going to be something that's new? Is that going to be changed? Is it just going to be taken out completely? Skill checks are completely gone now, which I think makes sense.
Yeah.
Because for repairs and things like that, it's like, okay, this guy's a mechanic. You're paying these points so that he can repair.
Yeah.
And you still have to make a gamble on whether or not he's able to do
Because
it.
I don't know how many times I paid for Dirty Meg and she never earned her coin. And
So there's that. There's apparently a new Hordes faction coming out in 2017, so curious to know what that one would be.
Now, have they gotten anything? Because I think I get a rough idea of what it might be, but have they started to hint towards anything?
Well, I'm sure a bunch of people have different ideas of what they could be, but in all honesty, it was like, okay, they're coming out with when they came out with a new Warmachine faction, it was, they're coming out with a new Warmachine faction, oh, nobody knows what it is, but there's been hints at, like, it could be Ogrins, it could be Convergence, it could be this, it could be that, and they were just like, and Convergence, and it was like, oh, sweet. So
It made sense.
It did. It made total sense, and it was nice to see them actually brought a little bit more into the lore, and just seeing the way they play in the game completely changes everything with like the inducting and just their whole clockwork function as a faction is great.
Well, and yeah, they had a unique look compared to anything
Yeah.
else. I don't know, Chris, have you done enough looking or thinking about what you think the next faction might be for Hordes?
Thinking? Have I done any thinking?
Have you done any thinking?
No, I haven't done any thinking.
I could have told you that.
Give the guy the benefit of the doubt.
All right. Apparently, huge bases are getting a major upgrade. No idea what that means. I think they kind of need it because their points cost has gone up huge.
Right.
They're like almost 40 points for a Colossal, so you're probably not going to see them on the board too much.
Well, when was the last time you saw Battle Engine?
I like taking Battle Engines. The Convergence one's pretty good.
Okay, so the Convergence one has popped up once in a while, but you don't see the Battle Engines, which is kind of a shame.
Yeah.
They were cool,
Yeah.
but as soon as the Colossals came out, then
Yeah, everybody got rid of the Battle Engines.
Yeah.
But I'm still excited to see that because like when they came out, it's like, oh, Colossal, these are awesome. They have 2 damage grades, but the thing is, their cost is the equivalent, if not more, of buying 2 jacks on their own.
Yeah.
And if you get them attacked by 2 jacks, they're pretty much gone, and there goes a huge point sink. And they didn't really have that much to offer to the table. They're pretty much just like a giant blocker.
that's what I mean. I'm excited
Yeah.
to see what they're doing with them.
One thing that I think is really nice is that the stat cards that are coming out actually have like a version and a date that they were released. So that way you can always make sure you got the most up-to-date cards, which I think they should have been doing for a while. Mercenary players, mercenary minion players, there's no more contracts and no more factions for them, so they can literally all play as one, but you get
Sort of, yeah.
but you get benefits if you bring them in specific contracts. Like you can take, for example, Puppet Masters with Siege Forge, with Pirates, with on and on. Now it's okay, well, you can bring all that, but if you just bring Puppet Masters, they get a benefit. If you just bring the Sea Forge, they get a benefit, which I think is really cool, because that way you're going to see more unique lists and armies and things like that. Another big one is that Fury frenzy checks don't work the same anymore.
They're changing that.
They've completely changed that, where a frenzy check is no more, you do the check, whatever. It's if you have focus on the beast, then you frenzy, which is you shake all the effects on yourself, and you immediately charge the closest model, and hit it with the strongest power strength attack you have.
So no more threshold, nothing like that.
No more threshold.
Just yeah. But I mean, it just takes the checkout and you just go, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it takes doing that checkout, and it also just makes it so that you can actually play it to that style a little bit more.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, I'm gonna put some fury on this beast. There's a chance he might frenzy, but that's okay. Now there's a fury on that beast. He's gonna frenzy, and I don't have to worry about that. So they're taking a little bit of the random out there. There's no more towing the zone.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
So to benefit from concealment, cover, to get objectives, things like that, to be in the zone, you no longer can take just like the tip of the base and put it on the air. You actually have to be wholly within.
Yeah, you gotta be wholly within the forest, within the smoke.
I laugh about it because that for me was the mark of a Warmachine player.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do.
Yeah,
When we
same here, I've done
were jump off topic just for a second. When we were doing the Gorkamorka play testing, I was still a really new employee when we were playtesting Gorkamorka, and so Matt said,
You have to deploy.
ask questions. He said he says ask questions so we can work out the kinks of the rules. And he said deployment was 8 inches.
No, he said deployment is within 8 inches.
Was within 8 inches, and I went within 8 inches or wholly within 8 inches.
And he looked at it like he's so confused. Like it took a good 10 minutes for you to explain. Like this is 8 inches. This is wholly within 8 inches.
Yeah,
And I was
it
like,
makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Well, So yeah, it's good that they changed that for people like me.
No, but I think that's a good change.
Yeah.
I like that because it's so stupid that a guy could be, the forest is here, the model is over here, and all you gotta do is touch that forest, and he's still plain sight.
Yeah.
But he's getting the benefit of the woods. And I mean, like, that's
Just envisioning somebody like slightly putting their foot behind a tree and be like, can't see me.
Yeah, you can't see me. I got my ankle in a hedge. I'm hiding.
What's that movie? Grandma's Boy, when Buddy's got the black coat and he just like plants himself up against the black wall and he's just like, how can he see me? I'm just picturing that.
So I think everybody can agree that's a good change.
I like it.
No more charging your own models.
I really didn't do that kind of.
Well,
thing.
that was a big thing for a lot of people when they would they'd have all their models move up and then all the guys behind would charge their own models to get that extra distance.
Yeah.
As opposed to just doing a walk because it gave you the chance to kind of do stuff and then go a little bit further, which was nice. They're also introducing a new game style called Rumble, where it's played on a 3x3 board. So that might be interesting. I wonder what there's like different rules for that one. It's supposed to accelerate the game, so it might be, you can only bring warjacks or you can only bring like X number of infantry. So there might be a neat gameplay type for that.
Different format.
Yeah.
It's always good.
They probably have something like a Royal Rumble.
Yeah. So they got all those. Jack Marshals, you can only. Oh. All right. Deep water's no longer a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's just like, there was water in this game.
Well, because it follows with when we get to the jacks.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no more going inert.
Yep. Backstrikes. This is huge. Backstrikes no longer require you to start in the enemy's back arc. You just have to be able to get in their back arc. That is huge.
Crow's Cutthroats.
Yeah.
Magnus.
Anything with backstab, basically. Basically anything at any point. Getting in somebody's back arc is huge because now you're getting that bonus to hit.
Yeah, you're getting the bonus, but everybody who had backstab, is now pull that off a lot easier. Like Crow, who is the first guy to think of.
Or just any other fast models. I don't necessarily need to have a special rule that gives me backstrike benefit. I'm thinking Mage Hunter Assassins.
Yep.
So now all of a sudden these guys that have a 14-inch threat range, I usually don't.
You can now like run past them all and attack backwards.
Yeah.
You can scooch around a little bit more.
A scooch.
And then Jack Marshals, they can only run one Jack, and they have to be assigned at the beginning of the game. But instead of a free focus, they get a choice of benefit. They have Crush, Hurry, Strike True, and Take Aim, and they all have different benefits here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but it's neat to see that there's.
Is it Jack? Like, can they still take like a Colossal?
It doesn't say in this. It just says that Jack must be assigned. So, yeah, no idea there. The rest of it is basically just a bunch of cleaning up changes and stuff like that. There's a few little rules here and there. I'm not going to get into them because there's
a couple things there because they've eliminated some universal special rules because all the melee weapons now have a range to replace.
Melee weapons have a specific range, so you can get anywhere from half an inch to 2 inches to 4 inches, and it actually says on the card. A lot of the new, standard abilities that you see on Warjacks, like Construct and Pathfinder for the Gargantuans, are now going to be printed on their card. It's no longer it's a Jack. It's assumed you know it's a Construct, which is nice there.
Rate of fire changes.
Yeah, rate of fire has a huge change to it now. It's no longer you spend Focus or Fury to buy more attacks. It's ranged attack X, where X is how many attacks you can actually make with that, so that's always good. Assault, Disruption, Blessed, all these universal rules that are shown by everything are actually now a symbol that's going to show up underneath the weapon itself. So it's no longer you go to the back of the card and it says, Sword has Blessed, Disruption, Assault is actually something that's available on there. A big one here is True Sight no longer lets you see through forests.
Yep.
So the only thing True Sight will actually do for you is let you see stealth and through cloud effects.
For what, Eyeless Sight?
Yep.
It's kind of a big one. Because Eyeless Sight, before you could just see through everything and go wherever you like. Now it's very restrictive now.
There's a whack of other ones. I'm super excited because Tough is working differently.
Yes,
so.
Tough is great now.
Oh, I don't know.
You can
come from the McBain
see if
user.
you can guess who uses Tough out of the people sitting at the table.
I like Tough.
Oh, Tough. I just got boned on Tough.
So the way Tough is working now, Tough doesn't work on knockdown models.
Yeah, you get to make a Tough check, and then Tough still knocks you down if you make it, but you can no longer take a Tough check if you are a knockdown model, which makes no sleeping on the job and The book for Menoth really, really good because it's all these things that prevent you from getting knocked down, but it's still like that's pretty huge.
Yeah, it's good. It kills a lot of my McBain strategies. I'll have to figure something else out now.
Big one that I really, really, really like is that focus no longer ups your armor.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So no more like, oh, when I feat, I get a focus for everybody who's on fire. And now I'm camping.
Owen.
And now I'm camping 20 focus. You can't hurt me. The way it works now is that if you take damage, you can spend 1 focus to mitigate 5 damage. So you can only do that once per attack. So it's not like, oh, you took 20 damage, I'm going to get rid of 4 of my focus and get rid of all of it.
Because one thing people used to say is how powerful the Fury mechanic is for being able to transfer damage. So it's not the same, but it's more.
Well, it depended on who you were talking to, because some people who if you played Warmachine, the Fury mechanic was broken. If you played Hordes, the focus mechanic was broken.
Yeah.
So it went back. It depended on what you were playing. So grass is always greener.
Well, yeah, because endgame Warcaster was terrifying.
Oh yeah.
So I could kill all your war beasts and your
You're not getting your Fury back.
So, who cares? But yeah, at end of the game Warcaster, if that's all I got left, they're still terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I don't know how many times there was like Krios running around the board and he's camping all his focus and you can't hurt him.
Mm-hmm. They also made it so that you keep your Fury and your focus through the maintenance phase, which I think is really, really good. So one thing that used to happen is if you were taking fire damage, you didn't get the focus to boost your armor. Which, although that's no longer a thing, you still get it for if you're on fire. You say you take 5 damage, you can spend that focus to mitigate the 5 damage because you still have that stack available, which is nice. Let's see what else.
Speed debuffs.
Speed debuffs no longer prevent you from charging. That's awesome.
Changes the utility of a lot of different spells. Immediately I think of, or even feats like Denegra.
Now, Denegra's feat actually says you can't run or no, that's Crippling Grasp. She has an ability that stops you from doing it. But yeah, her feat is just -2 to everything. Spellbreakers, dispels, things like that. There's a lot more dispel and like remove upkeep abilities that are being shown on a lot of the cards. But one thing that they've changed now is that if you have something that removes an upkeep, the person who casts a spell can suffer D3 damage to keep it going. So if you have a pretty tanky caster, you can just go right through. Grievous Wounds does not prevent transfers anymore.
That's...
Sorry, bud.
Yeah. I mean, I only had it with McBain and...
You're like only caster.
Denon and Bull, I believe. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, that was so nice because, I mean, you could take on Warmachine guys and take on Hordes guys. Grievous Wounds, you know. Now you can... What's McBain going to do now? I don't know. You better get some sweet new rules.
Here we go. So... There we go. Fearless, Terror, Abomination, and Reach have all been removed. So those are pretty big. I think we got most of these. Yeah, we got Tough. Oh, Cavalry.
Cavalry.
All Cavalry get repositioned, so it replaces the light cav movement and ride-by attacks.
That's very cool.
Really, really nice there.
That's nice for the heavy cav.
And anything that you have that returns you to play effects, so anything like Risen, the Enigma Foundries for Convergence, a lot of the feats or like Revive, stuff like that.
Siege.
Anything that brings a model back from the dead, basically, that model no longer gets to activate as normal.
You gotta wait the next turn?
You can move, you can't do your action phase. So a lot of people who would, well, the thing is for like the Risen, for example, a lot of people would use that because you could have...
oh yeah, because you're like...
Yeah, you could basically like...
Cloud and then more, and then they all get to activate, and everybody gets to run as one.
Yeah, it was also a really neat trick for putting stuff in people's back arcs.
Yeah.
Because you would spawn it in the back and then charge there, so... Which, again, doesn't make a difference anymore.
I suddenly want to play Warmachine against Kris more and more.
I know, I was going to say...
Wait, he can't do all these things
He can't do all
anymore?
these awesome tricks?
I don't... my McBain list was pretty good. Now it's kind of poo.
Purification, which was a huge spell, is now only available to the Protectorate. So Purification was the everything in your control area, all upkeeps, animi, and continuous effects are gone. That's now limited to Protectorate. There's a lot of similar spells available, but Protectorate are the only ones who get Purification. That's actually a huge one, because Purification was available on like a couple casters here and there in different factions, and it was a nice way to remove continuous effects or those annoying upkeep spells. Definitely shuts that down. Armor Piercing has the armor of all targets on any base size.
Ugh.
Yeah. So suddenly the Swamp Horde got really, really scary for those caster kills.
Ugh.
Go ahead, throw a Swamp Horde and let it pull a caster in and armor pierce bite.
Other things like the Retribution heavy rifle teams that I've never seen anybody use in a game. I'm gonna go find mine too.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're suddenly gonna be. Oh, I found them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already talked about the camping focus. Synergy now maxes out at 3, which kind of bums me out because I had a...
Good.
Well, it makes sense because there was the trick that you could take with Bradagus, and there was also the one that you would take with Syntherian, which was just take a bunch of light jacks and one heavy, have them all walk up and push things, and you'd stack that attack to the point where it's like, okay, now he's going to attack with plus 11 mat and plus 11 strength.
I was dinged one time at a tournament with a guy who had like plus 7 or something like that, and I got rocked, of course.
Yeah, just... Well, you take the inverter for conversion. He's like, I'm hitting with a POW 20. Oh, I have synergy up. I'm at plus 11. Now it's POW 31. By the way, I almost can't miss.
Yeah.
I just one-shotted your Colossal. Yeah. Yeah, we went through all those.
Game.
Stupid, dumb game. There was heavy infantry all have 5 damage boxes other than MOWs. Oh, Man of Wars, okay. Veteran Leader now adds a +1 benefit to the command range rather than line of sight.
You skipped that one.
Which one?
True Sight.
We talked about True Sight.
Did we?
Yeah.
No,
True
that
Sight
was,
and
no,
Eyeless
that was
Sight.
Eyeless Sight.
Oh, Eyeless Sight. Sorry, True Sight. Yeah, True Sight now ignores stealth and
the gun
clouds.
mages.
Yeah.
The gun mages got that.
Oh, the gun mages.
Gun mages.
Chris is getting excited again.
Yeah. Weapon crews are no longer a thing. They just move slowly and fire at the same turn. Beat back now only works if the target survives the attack.
Yeah.
And
And you can only move directly towards the target.
sorry, Moloch Karn.
I'm thinking more for my Cephalix. With the Wrecker, I would abuse that. Because I would hit beat back, move, and then get like a wicked Thresher position. Now I can't do that anymore.
So far, there's nothing that we've read that makes me think any of my things have gotten any worse. You guys are all disappointed, but I can't think of anything that's made my Retribution stuff worse.
Yeah, because Retribution has been at the short end of the stick for a while anyway.
Oh, hey, you got that Colossal that has no guns.
Yeah, constantly.
I was so disappointed because the promotional video before they came out, and every different one they introduced, you know, look at this cool guy, all these cool abilities, all these cool guns, and and they get to the Retribution one, and there's no enthusiasm. He tried something different. He doesn't have guns. And that was the description. Everybody else got like a good 2-minute spiel on their thing. Retribution, no guns.
Yeah.
But your board control went up.
He didn't even say that in the video.
No.
He just, no ranged weapons. Cool.
You can move stuff around.
Yeah. He's good now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to be
never
great
see the
now if you have
rules.
wicked board control. Cavalry. You want to talk about Cavalry? Because you were complaining about them.
No, because cavalry, all make impact attacks, get to make their normal mount attacks when they didn't charge, and get all boost attack rolls if they did charge. I like that.
And they also get reposition.
And reposition. So my heavy cav, because I play with steelhead cavalry, and yeah, always getting my impact attacks. That's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. You know.
So
Because
also
I could just move like an engine, boom, hit, you know, boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
But Tall in the Saddle and ride by attacks have been
Oh
removed.
yeah, that's right. Tall in the Saddle has been removed. Why I don't know, but
Yeah. As for attachments, there's the command attachments now have a field allowance to match however many units they are attached to. So it's no longer, I have 2 units, but only one gets the UA. Now you can have equal UAs to the amount of units you have. Weapon attachments, you may take 3 weapon attachments of any type that you're allowed to use for that unit. So there you go, Retribution. You can start taking the Soulless Escort, your UA, and Iris in your... Oh, that's gross.
in the Strike Force,
Yeah.
ugh,
Yeah.
No.
elves.
Ew, elves. Standard
It's
bearer.
gonna be so fun.
Standard bearers now give +2 to the command whale within 5 inches of the leader, so the models can spread out more. No more morale checks, and officers no longer have a command that they are no longer have a higher command than the base unit. So, musicians grant a 3-inch move, reposition effectively at the end of the activation, and there's something here for Strata Riders. The musician gives a sidestep. So, I like the Warjack one. Warjacks in the battle group gain power up. Automatically allocate 1 free focus point.
That frees up.
That's
a lot
amazing.
because I mean they want you to take more battle groups now, and so now you're getting free focus because I mean like Warcaster would say 6 focus. You know, if he took like say 4 jacks, his focus was all gone, and I mean like you know you couldn't do anything. You couldn't get those power ups. You couldn't get those upkeeps going. And so now at least you can...
Well, there's so many times, that I would take a Jack and he'd have one specific job, and then once he did that, he's just the arc node. So, turn 1, I'm going to give him a focus so he can run, and then, no, Billy, we don't need you anymore. You stand in the corner and you do nothing. You do nothing all game.
I spent 6 points on you.
Okay, yeah, the Chimera. Yeah, Quirk knows exactly. Every single game that I use a Chimera, okay, Billy... Run up there, you're an arc node. Okay, we used your arc node thing once. Hang out.
You're engaged, just stay there.
I don't have focus to spare for you to do anything interesting.
Yeah.
Which was, why you don't take jacks.
Yeah.
Now, I laugh because I'm hearing all these changes because I'm thinking Retribution jacks and realizing I don't know what half of them do because I never bothered to take them. Because as much as I hate Infantry Machine, that was
the way to play.
Except for, specific theme lists, which I think they've done away with theme lists, haven't they?
I don't know, actually. I haven't seen anything here about it.
I think it was mentioned earlier when they were saying something about the contracts.
That's just for mercenaries, though.
Yeah.
So there's no mercenary theme lists?
There's no
Highborn
there's no more contracts for mercenaries. You can get
they had theme lists.
Yeah, no, that's
McBain
Warcaster specific though.
Damiano and
Yeah, well that's what I mean. So the caster,
like you're talking about tier lists.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Those I'm sure are still in there. I haven't seen anything that says no. So
then what are we defining? What was a theme list?
a theme list would have been like a contract. So
Yeah.
like my
4
puppet
tiers.
masters.
I get excited because I never liked the
Oh, I used to play my themes all the time.
Oh yeah.
mine sucked.
McBain, because my McBain one, I mean, got advanced move on a tier 4. He start with his upkeeps. He character units cost less.
The Retribution ones for most of the casters. I know Gareth has a theme. It does because it involves I think 4 Mage Hunter Strike Forces or something too. I don't know. I never used them.
Why would I bring this? Though the thing I like about the power up though is that for convergence, they can induct, and there's no limit to the number of inducting you can do anymore. So it's not like, okay, I can induct 1 over. It's going to be like, power up, induct. Now you're sitting on 3 focus. You do something, you induct that 3 focus over to another heavy jack. You do something, induct that over. So they basically don't need to spend focus anymore.
They do need to get painted, though.
It's hard to... I can't paint on top of the car paint I sprayed it with. I'm sorry. It doesn't stay. I wanted to prime all my guys gold, so I did, but I didn't realize that Chromac is car paint, and it's gloss finish that doesn't accept any other paint on top of it.
We can fix that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. You can paint them for me.
I'm not paint. I'm not painting.
Did you just get
choking on my own rage here.
Did you get physically ill at the thought of painting something for someone?
I get a paint. I think we got time here just to finish up the Warjack ones. Light, Heavy, and Gargantuan War Beasts gain Spirit Bond. When they die, their Warlock can leech 1 Fury off them. There's stuff over top of that. Here, I'm gonna grab that. I'll see what this is.
1 round for free?
Yeah. Per round for free. Cool. So, that's actually sweet. So now you don't have to get the War Beast to like start building up Fury, and you don't have to rile them for no reason. You can just leech that off them. Monstrosities gain a free focus point to a maximum of 3 when they are damaged by friendly and enemy attacks. That's good for me because I play Cephalix. Vectors, so the Convergence Jacks can induct all the focus onward to other vectors within 6 inches. So basically, 3 focus can theoretically power your entire battle group. Repairs are now automatic, but that goes with the elimination of skill checks. Big one here, Warjacks no longer leave wreck markers.
Yeah.
So I can't run my Warjack up and have you guys kill him and then use him as cover?
Yeah.
Because that's...
Because it doesn't matter now. Because I mean, you can't tow that piece of terrain anymore.
Well, that used to
You
be...
gotta be
That
holy
used to
with
be
it.
Billy's job. Billy the Chimera. Billy, you stand in the corner until I need terrain. Oh, I need it right there. Go die.
Yeah, because
So I'm gonna. Cause you can't hit your own models anymore, right?
Nope, you can't charge your own models.
So yeah.
Oh no, you can't charge your own models. I don't know if you can't hit them or not.
That'll make a difference. Oh, well, I guess it won't make a difference because I can't murder Billy the Chimera and have him be my. Sometimes I need cover for my casters.
All heavy warjacks have a minimum 1-inch reach, which is awesome. Hey, Deathjack actually got a little bit more further with those giant claws.
yeah.
I want to see Deathjack to have like a 4-inch reach. With his giant hands.
Ah, let me hug you. Push, headlock, and weapon lock have all been removed. When was the last time any of you did one of those?
I
Push,
used to use
yeah.
weapon locks.
Yeah.
Push, I used to use push, but I mean like weapon lock and headlock.
No.
They're gone.
I used to weapon lock. Like the arm lock.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
once in a while.
Never.
Just to be a jerk.
Yeah.
The
Just
only-
So I'm
yeah.
a
Just
bigger
to tie
jerk
him
than
up.
both of you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to tie him up, and because I mean, like sometimes you can see that he's gonna want to move that guy and get into position, right? So if you got him locked up, he's he's stuck.
I used to use that for when I was fighting anybody who had like a push or very like pushy army. I'd be like, I'm gonna walk up and arm lock my own jack, and now they're locked in together, so you can't move them. Last one we have here before we're out of time for the free portion of this is that warjacks don't go inert when knocked down in water.
That changes my tactics with minions
Yeah.
because I used to like throwing them into the little pools of water because
Yeah.
blind water, you start
Yeah,
off
you
with
start
those
off and you
little
get
pools,
placed.
and you just
Yep.
chuck them in and they go out, So now
Yeah, the only way you could get it back was by having somebody, a warcaster, walk up and
yeah,
forfeit
start
their
them up
action.
again. Yeah, start them up again.
So do you want to? We can bomb through war.
Yeah, we can
Machines.
go through the war beast
Because
ones.
that's a good.
This is a
point.
good one. It'll be a good one to end on here. Frenzies have been simplified. A frenzying model simply shakes everything they can, then charges the nearest target and uses their highest power and strength. Now, the way it used to work was that you'd have like a frenzy check to go over, and you'd roll 2 dice, add however many fear you had, and if you're over the frenzy or the threshold, you'd frenzy, which then had a list of different things you would try and charge. It would be charge the closest enemy model in line of sight. Nope, charge the closest friendly model in line of sight. You had to go through this list, so it's nice that they simplified that. Far Strike Animus is self-only. Okay, so that's just for specific ones, but it prevents it from being needed
Because
for
First
other
Strike
models.
was self only. So it used
Yeah.
to be the troll guy,
Yeah,
the troll
Impaler. Yep. Condition has been changed to remove only 1 point of fury. That's actually pretty big.
Which one's condition?
Condition was the one where you could walk up and shepherds, I think, used
the
it.
herders and stuff.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
Druid Wilders.
Yep. So they would basically walk up and be like, "Oh, you're about to go crazy. Let me just calm you down, and you're fine now." So, again, all heavy war beasts have a minimum 1-inch reach. Affinity, special issue, and bonds are now all bonds and specified to the war beast's card. They do not exactly say, or
So they do exactly what
no,
they
do
say.
they do exactly what they say, other than provide the old special issue bonus. They are exclusive to character jacks and beasts. And then, yep, so that's cool. And the last one here is push, headlock, weapon lock have all been removed. So, and then just the one last thing here for other model changes is that there's no more morale or skill checks as a whole, which I think is good, because that means no more panicking and fleeing, because...
Yeah, I mean, I used to use it though.
Yeah.
It was part of my strategy. I mean, again,
You might actually have to, like, rethink a new list. All right. There you go, guys. That was the free portion of this week's reroll. I think in the vault we're going to start talking about the new 40k stuff that we saw creeping up. All the stuff that we've been able to experiment and play with and test out, and all the stuff that we saw popping up, like the new... they have the new Demons Codex that came out, right? Like there was a pre-order
It was
for
part
it.
of the
Yeah, there's like the pre-order for that. So a lot of exciting stuff in there. So guys, go ahead and click the link below to see the vault portion of the reroll, which is somewhere in the vicinity of Chris's pointing.
or if it's annotations.
If it's annotations
Floating
somewhere
across the
around
screen.
here, it's just like blocking all our heads. So go ahead and click that. It does give you access to the vault where you can see all kinds of awesome things like Chris's extra painting tutorials, more battle reports, more behind the scenes, open vaults, reviews. There's like thousands of videos in the vault you guys can check out, so definitely do that. But until then, guys, thanks so much for watching. See you next time.